It will sound formal, but I do hope that we will make it nice and beautiful. Let me welcome you to the assessment and presentation of interim results of Millennium Schools education program. Thank you very much. Today we're here to rejoice what we've done, look at success stories, look into the future. So we will discuss everything. We will have the informal setting after the presentations, just to ask you who traveled more than 100 kilometers. I would say everybody. Anyone traveled fewer than 10 kilometers? Oh, we have some people like that. More than 300? Great. From the early morning, right? So you put a lot of effort to be here today and you did it on time. So I'm very happy about it. Anyone is here to rejoice more, to be happy than to moan? Yes, but everybody, but there are someone who is going to moan. Anyone? Okay. Who wants to get acquainted with somebody from the education community whom they don't know? Quite a lot. And the last question, who wants to skip all the presentations and just go to the party? Some people as well, so all answers are good. Thank you very much for being sincere. I'm a journalist, Živilė Kropaitė, and my aim will be to follow the event, to make space for you, to hear you, and to give space for everybody. We are also watched on YouTube channel. So we are quite a lot of us here. You found presents with some tea that symbolizes the achieved results, and also a bubble of seeds, new ideas, changes that you together with us nurtured, and who can start the event better than the representative of the success story of Millennium Schools is the headmaster of Pilaitė Gymnasium, Mindaugas Briedis. Please give him a round of applause. Good afternoon, good day, colleagues, minister, and we're very happy to say a welcome word to you and to say welcome to Vilnius Pilaitė Gymnasium. And this is the best case in point what the Millennium Schools project looks like. It turned into a material project that serves to everybody. Whether a school that services a lot of citizens. We are third school in this 45,000 inhabitant territory, so we are really wanted. And we believe that we will achieve a maximum capacity next year. This year, we have about 1,900 pupils, 88 teachers. We have 10 members of staff and administrative staff, and we are implementing or trying to implement all the Millennium Schools projects that started in Vilnius quite a while ago, and they have to finish on time. So welcome, and happy to see you here. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do hope that you can hear me. And now we'll hear virtual welcome word by the Prime Minister of Lithuania, Ingrida Šimonytė. Dear participants of Millennium Schools, supporters and guests. Some 2 years ago, we welcomed heads of municipalities and education experts on the announcement of first and second round municipalities of Millennium Schools. We are very happy that now we can start doing things. Now it's a midterm of activities, and we can speak about the real program results of Millennium Schools, successes, lessons learned, mistakes, and the ways to deal with them. If we measured success by laboratories, classrooms, spaces, today we can count the walls and say that there is very little left. We managed. But I am happy that this program is about creating spaces by the universal design principles, about the contemporary education environment open to kids. If we measured the success in walls, we can be happy about sensor rooms. But I'm happy that the Millennium Schools program is not about only facilities, but competences, leadership, inclusion, also STEM and networking. I hear that during the first stage we have education facilities and also measures that teachers use today. A few years ago we only could dream about integrating physics and music, biology and Lithuanian literature. We are very often say that this is for sciences, this is for humanities, but we can teach STEM by modern art. Dyslexic kids find it easier to write in checked exercises, which doesn't cost anything, but it is adjusted for a pupil. Networking was a magic word before that. Now all municipalities use that. All this and a lot more is a reality for Millennium Schools, from Ignalina to Visagina schools, from Biržai to Lazdijai region. Millennium Schools program without the success has its challenges. It's time framed. It's happening in Lithuania with 58 different experiences. Of course, it gives rise to different tensions and challenges. I would like to thank all the leaders, all the participants who are ready to move forward in strengthening schools every day with another lesson learned, competence, space open for all children. You are creating the future school to our kids. Fruitful ideas and new networks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the Prime Minister. We also have the Minister of Sports Education and Science, Radvilė Mikulėnienė. She's here with us live. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really very happy that this working official week will be finished together with you here. And we met on a very windy way because we have lots of winds, and I also had the idea that in the system of education we have lots of winds. They're not always favorable, and just to tell you that even if I don't convince you, the politicians and the education community has one aim: to curb and to manage the winds to achieve our goals. The project of the Millennium Schools, I think, is one of the most successful projects in the system of education. And later on, the head of the representation of the European Commission, Marius, will address you, and I'm very happy that this project is really one of the best projects. This is the biggest investment into the system of education, more than 200 million euros. We can talk, we can discuss, and it will be really interesting to hear the way you see. In Jonava, maybe people said that more should be allocated to infrastructure and less to competences and soft things. So I do hope we will have a chance to hear this today, how you assess the program of Millennium Schools, also the aim to distribute resources as best as possible to concentrate them into laboratories, different science, music areas. In Jonava, we had really very nice theater studio or music recording studio. So it's really many nice, beautiful things are happening in schools, and it's great. And this wish that kids, wherever they live, in Lithuania or smaller city, had similar opportunities to start, to improve. And I'm very happy that this program can contribute to that. So thank you very much to you. Thank you for working, for sharing experience. And this project, I think, what gave to us, to our community, that it's a process based on cooperation, on talking. What gymnasiums, what municipalities had to participate was a decision based on who is stronger, how we can make things stronger. When we talked about education, I think what was most difficult is that there are lots of individual cases, and decision makers or other people, we try to make one size fits all. And that makes the internal dialogue very difficult, because every school is different. Pupils are different, have different skills, and one recipe to solve all problems is impossible. We need to agree how to move to better education where everybody feels good, and that gives us certain challenges, I think. This program is just a case in point how we can unite resources, ideas. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, the Minister. And we have the head of the European Commission representation. I would like to give the floor to Marius Vaščega. Give a round of applause. Good afternoon. It's great to be here to see one of the results of a long journey. I'm saying a long journey because Millennium Schools are one of the parts of the recovery and resilience mechanism of the European Union that started during the times that we want to forget, COVID times, when everything stopped. We were at home. We wouldn't meet in such rooms or via screens, and economy stopped, and people asked what will be when everything opens. And on the EU, such an incentive package was thought of to help member states to recover, to make the economy stand on their feet. There was some freedom for digitalization, for greening, and then different countries could choose which way to go. And Lithuania opted that 18% of the package will be allocated to education. What could be better than to allocate for future, for education, for strengths, for growing? So indeed, the minister mentioned that in the entire package, about 200 million euros were allocated for different measures related to Millennium Schools. And I'm very happy to see the result that from the very beginning now we see a school that is successful in using that. And there are many more schools like that. There are regions, and wherever you look, I have a list, and there are lots of beautiful things. Indeed, 1/3 of pupils' achievements differ. And it's important to strengthen the basis for schools, and the question itself becomes, in the context of election campaign, an opposing one. People start questioning whether we need to move forward to go to schools. And I think ensuring quality combining with good school results is a good thing, and it leads to better results, to improvement of the system of education, and a better future for us and for our kids and for Lithuania. So let me rejoice over this thing. I do hope we will have more projects like that. We will be happy about it. And Millennium Schools and RRF funding will enlighten us in positive words. So I welcome all of you. I congratulate you. Have a good meeting, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much. On my own behalf, I will just tell you that we will not only look at the successful schools, but we will have the stories and good practice examples, and we will learn from one another. We will talk, so I'm very happy. And another welcome word, the officer from Malta and Lithuanian National Division from the DG for Culture, Education, Youth and Sports, Dora Weber, is virtually with us. But even those who are virtually with us, we give a round of applause, even though she is with us virtually. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of the Directorate General for Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, allow me to say congratulations to the entire educational community of Lithuania, and especially to the participating municipalities for all the achievements made so far in the first stream of the Millennium School program. I'm honored to celebrate with you today, and I'm very much looking forward to learning more about some of the outstanding projects that you have already put in place. This is an incredibly ambitious program, the largest one of its kind within Lithuania's educational initiatives as part of the country's recovery and resilience plan. At its core, the Millennium School program aims to reduce the educational gap in pupils' achievement and create high-quality educational conditions in municipalities across the country. It is important to mention that the challenges that the program aims to address are not unique to Lithuania's educational context. Educational inequalities are among the most pressing issues across the European Union, as also highlighted by the latest results of PISA, the Program for International Students Assessment. The results show a large, persistent, and in many cases, increasing socio-economic gap in student outcomes across the EU. Initiatives such as the Millennium School program, where steps are taken to weaken and eventually to break the link between one's background and educational outcomes, are key. I strongly believe that this program could become a promising example also for other European countries, particularly because of its bottom-up approach, an approach which empowers municipalities and schools to create and implement tailored plans that respond to local needs in areas of school leadership, inclusive education, cultural education, and in the area of science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. I would like to encourage all of you to continue fostering collaboration within school communities, among teachers and school leaders across the country. Share your knowledge, think together, and openly discuss where challenges remain and where additional support might be needed. This vision of equity is also at the heart of the European Education Area Strategy. Among the strategy's goals are reducing the share of students lacking basic skills and limiting the share of students leaving school or training early. Fostering quality teaching and learning environments that recognizes individual differences, that respond to the needs of students and equip educators with effective pedagogical tools can be the enablers to realize a European education area where all students have access to quality education. We firmly believe that such locally designed projects and investments are vital to level the playing field for students and to provide each and every one of them with a valuable educational experience, no matter where they come from. And finally, we should also keep in mind that sustainable change takes time. It often requires changing mindsets and practices, and just because results are not immediately visible, it doesn't mean that they will not have a lasting impact. Even small, seemingly invisible changes can build up to something significant. They can lead to students feeling seen, listened to, and empowered to succeed. And I'm sure you know many examples. On that note, I would like to once again congratulate you for all your hard work and for the hundreds of projects realized so far and for the many more yet to come. And now I'm very excited to learn from your experiences. Thank you very much.
Today we have heard a lot of times welcome words, and it seems that those challenges are somewhere far away. But what the Millennium Schools are celebrating today? This is what Judita Šarpienė, head of Millennium Schools program, is raising. And let us give her a round of applause. Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues, comrades.
Brussels at the European Commission who are watching us on YouTube.
Usually, the speeches end with thanks, but I would like to start my speech with thanks because I have a privilege to speak to you on behalf of my entire program and to present our joint challenges and to put the spotlights onto you and to your success stories, because you are the innovators of education, those who deal with problems every day. And thank you very much for that. Thank you for putting trust in the program and going forward. And I wish that in this way, each and every one of you could experience your discoveries and your success. I would like to thank SFO team that together with the teams from municipalities think about the implementation of progress plans. They look for decisions and they always say that we need to really cherish the progress. I would like to thank the representation of the European Commission in Lithuania, the government, also the Ministry of Sports, Finance, Culture, Central Project Management Agency, National Education Agency, Lithuanian Association of Municipalities, also all the Supervisory Committee of Millennium Schools and other colleagues who, because of their work and also efforts, try to make this way as easy as possible. And I'm very happy that networking is being supported on all levels. Today, we're here not to discuss the reports, to declare the investments, and we do that every day. Today, we are here to share success stories or the stories of how we went towards that success, to reflect, to share, and maybe go with ideas, what can we do better in the future? And I do hope that such stories could be heard not only here, but also during networking, and you will see them on the screen. I do know that every municipality has its unique history. and the way their network of schools is working, about how they are trying to achieve the most ambitious goals and how they are trying to look for measures that really are in line with their needs. And we'll hear from 4 municipalities, and they will speak about the journey they covered. And there are even more municipalities that have a lot to share. And we want to announce those stories, to talk about education as loud as possible, to try to change things. And we do that during our networking and articles and website. And I do hope that during our breaks you will have the chance to share for the success of the others. I do believe that the stories that Ukmergė, Prienai, Šiauliai, Kretinga and Kėdainiai colleagues, and also the examples that you will see, means more to every school and municipality rather than we can measure by any indicators of education progress. And we see it from the bird's view. We can measure how we're doing and whether they are aiming for the results that the program was intended to. We cannot take all the success stories and positive indicators only to ourselves. We cannot say that we are the ones responsible for that, but because that was a joint work, and it also gets us together for a joint result. Within more than 2.5 years, we see that reducing the gap of schools is on the good way. In 40% of all the municipalities that took part in the program, the gap of achievements of pupils has reduced. In 22 out of 58 municipalities, it's not really important where the pupil is studying. We also noticed quite a stable increase in achievements in literature, Lithuanian language, mathematics, and these are something that we can be happy about. Also, joint class numbers are reducing, and also the number of pupils per teacher is reducing. So we're really putting a lot of effort to use the resources of education as efficient as possible. So in this interim station, we can say that we are going towards a good direction, and this is actually only something in between. 22 municipalities that we are discussing today are implementing about 80% of all the activities, and in terms of 58 municipalities, we're somewhere in halfway. 48% of all the activities are started or have been completed out of 139 activities. And one has to say that the program is very ambitious, very big in scope, and the aims are very ambitious. And of course, we met challenges. And challenges are very pragmatic, errors in procurement process, lots of red tape, and the lack of resources quite often. And maybe we can put a lot of effort to eliminate practical barriers, and the process is as simple as possible. A few steps that we need to take, and that's it. But these obstacles are overcome by practical steps, so we don't need to change our insights or do something completely different. But when implementing this program, we as a big education group of practitioners, we face even major challenges that are in our culture or in overall background information about education in Lithuania. And those negative messages that we hear, that funds are not invested properly, that leaders are born and you cannot teach them. Ethnoculture is pushing away the modern culture, or inclusive education is really the obstacle to current norms. And this is a resistance to change. And this is does not motivate us to do something new. And it's very difficult not to give in to such a narrative. That is why we share the experience and we organize such events, so you can hear real stories. And it's important not to give in to such a narrative, to hear one another, to hear real stories. And by hearing them, we shouldn't be defensive, but maybe work harder and share our unique experience and speak about real stories and have a good education environment to each and every one of us. This inclusive, accessible to all, modern or Millennium School is hard to imagine without the network of municipalities and schools that are cooperating. This is network where everybody can be heard and the support can be given. And also some success could be really celebrated. We can spend lots of hours to discuss the tangible results and show them, and we will do that. But I believe, for me personally and my team, what is important is to focus on the fact that the major added value of the program is the result of this process, this network, and people here and their relationship. In those 2.5 years, we managed to do a lot. From things that you can't take kids to another school because they will see that it's better and they will run away. We learned to share errors, successes, to open up the doors of classrooms and also to open up ourselves, to share challenges, to warn if something is not happening, and also to say good words. And I'm very happy about that. Thank you for taking this program into your municipalities, for helping us to trouble the waters and dream big. And I do hope that those 2 years that are remaining of the program will generate more success stories than we see today, and we will be happy about them. So be courageous, support one another, and today let ourselves to relax and to celebrate what we managed to do. Thank you very much. Just stay. We started on time, everything is happening on time, and we're very grateful. I have a humorous question to you. When you say that we are somehow got distant or overcame such phrases that let's not take kids to a better school because they will run away. Any example that shows this demonstrates that? Well, we hear that a lot when we talk at municipalities, but my personal story is that we used to visit Visaginas, Žiburys secondary school, and then there was an opening of STEAM lab, and we asked them what is happening here. These are your pupils. No, said, we have pupils from everywhere here. We're sharing the experience, the projects. So that is the best networking in action that we're aiming for, and we want to see as many schools there as possible. So, okay, thank you very much that we are sharing good examples, and I will ask all of you to be specific And let us thank the Judita. And I thought that I'll have a test. We will hear the first example, and you know one another. I will read about the school and try guessing whether you know what school could this be. 24/7 school, a network of schools that organizes not only formal education but also extracurriculum activities, physical internet platform that where the experience could be shared and change the model of action. What kind of city is that? What do you think? Ukmergė. Great. Darius Kaplūnas, who is the headmaster of Šilas Pro Gymnasium. Let us give him a round of applause. Good afternoon, everyone. Those who are really happy to be here. Today, very briefly, I will try to present Ukmergė Šilas Pro Gymnasium experience and on their journey to inclusive education. Inclusive education. This picture symbolizes my first encounter with inclusive education. Back then, some years ago, a young elementary school teacher, in the middle of the year, I hear the news that one pupil is coming to our class. A bit expressive, they say. Okay, I thought. The parents come, we have a chat, I see a child, and it seems that he's not talking, he's not writing, not reading, has lots of other disorders. And first days are like that. I come back home and I don't know what to do. So that was the time when I couldn't really do anything. There was nothing, no ideas about having an assistant. And then I thought, what shall I do? But I have other kids. I have second-year kids. Maybe I should include them into education. And I managed to do that. So all the class, the entire class, got into this inclusive education, even though there was no definition of inclusive education. But that was the first time when I realized that the community, even a small community, can do more than one or two people. What is this inclusive education? What's it about? Every school, I think, every community has a different understanding of what inclusive education is. And I think it's very difficult to take the same direction when we have a carriage, and the carriage being inclusive education, which is being pulled to different sides. So what is this inclusive education? Is it a challenge or an opportunity? And in order to understand what it really is, we, when thinking about Ukmergė progress plan, drafting it, we were thinking what to do. How make this inclusive education an opportunity from something scary? I will tell you a few measures, very easy to measure. They help inclusive education make easier with the opportunity to achieve for better results for everyone, which is most important. The first measure that we bought are those silent booths. When I presented this idea in the manager meeting, a few of them said, what is this? a shower booth. You will see, you will watch over it. What will you do here? And I doubted myself whether this is really worth implementing at school. It's going to be worthwhile. And I was very anxious before it came. We have 3 schools in Ukmergė who had 2 booths each. And this is the first day in the corridor. I see a child screaming during the class. The assistant is running around, kicking and screaming. The assistant looked at me. What shall I do? She's asking me. Maybe I could go there into the silent booth. And I said, yes, they're just being assembled. She asks the child to go with her, well, drags really the child into the booth, and what I see shocked me for the entire life. The child got into a different world. The doors were shut, those high chairs. He was a 3rd year pupil. He got onto that chair. They talked, the teacher went to class, got back with her book, and he's learning to read. In class, he's being disturbed by anyone. That was the autistic child, just, nagging by others or anything else. And what I saw there, I realized that those silent booths are necessary. And we have them for a year. We only have 2 of them. And they are meant not only for such cases. When most schools have classes with different children who can't stay for the entire class, they need to come down. But we use them for also different purposes, for very gifted children. And also, it's very good to talk to parents there with a teacher. You imagine there were lots of situations when parents come and then everybody start listening. But in this booth, it's quiet, it's nice. So it's good for parents too. So if there was an opportunity, if you had it, it's a great thing. If previously even teachers would say the headmaster is being a bit crazy, now the assistants want to use them and to buy more of them. So this is one of the small steps, but gives a good result for the future. Another tool that we bought is interactive wall. This is not something very new, but what is important where such a wall is assembled. I don't know whether you have them, but we were told to put it and assemble it in the gym. Big wall, we are running around, we include the entire class, but the sports room is usually busy. The gym is usually busy, and you can't get there because there are lots of classes. And we thought that this interactive wall could be on a small karate room. We have a small one. So we put the interactive wall there, and you can't imagine how, via play, the kids could learn maths, Lithuanian language, also sciences, physical education. And what is most important, that kids get involved really quickly. And when colleagues come from other regions, other districts, and ask us to try it out, they can't stop themselves, can't get enough. So indeed, it's a serious thing. Just a piece of advice, if you want to know more during the break, you can come, because I don't want to be the one advertising. Interactive sand table, the most popular tool. It's best fit for preschool, I think, and elementary school. Via game, small children, preschool, also first, second year kids. This is just an example. You see sand here. On your left, they're shaping a volcano. They are shaping it, and if it's properly shaped, the volcano erupts. Imagine what it means to a child who has difficulty in managing his hands. It's good for motor movements, and via play they are learning. A child that has disorders, if you tell them you have to do something, you must do something, they will scream and shout, and there will be nothing really, no results. So these simple things make inclusive education much easier and makes the life of the teacher, pupil, and community easier. So make our life easier. This program enabled to improve many things. There are just a couple of them what Šilas Progymnasium received. But I do believe that the main thing what we won as a lottery, not only our Progymnasium but other schools, is understanding that small things mean good achievements and better atmosphere, better cooperation between different chains. For me, inclusive education is an opportunity, not something bad. And I do believe that the participation of all of us, our schools, in this program will help to make our education better. We could be equal even to Finland, which is very advanced in the sphere of education. If we believe we can achieve that, but we need to change the perception. And I found it difficult to do that, but if the manager can do that, other chains can also do that. And I think a bright future is awaiting for our education. And Ukmergė says that education will just move forward. Thank you. Thank you very much. You advertised those silent booths, but I thought maybe at home it would be really great to have one. But you are saying that there would be a need for more. How many more would you need in an ideal situation? Well, ideally, our school has 25 pupils with big needs or major needs. Well, you don't need them all the time, but at least 12, so for half the number. Not all schools, of course, have the place because they are quite space-consuming. If you decide to buy them, then buy 2 people booths, and you had a 1-person booth. Do you have anyone from here has silent booths? Nobody. So I presented something new. And you also said that Of course, you are saying that I had to change the approach, to change things in my head. What did you need to do there? Well, indeed, when you come back home and you think, what shall I do? Because you don't really understand how to participate in a lesson, what to do, because one child is being destructive. So you need to involve everybody, to include them. And children helped me. They said, he likes to paint. So if I see that he is banging on the table, I give him water, paint, some paper. So children get involved as well. Yes. Inclusive education is about everybody. The cleaner and the headmaster. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Darius Kaplūnas from Ukmergė, Šilas Progymnasium, headmaster. Let us move on. And I do know that you will know the answer, but let us play. The schools of this city have the quality management system, they have art club for teachers, they have innovative measures for differentiation, and have new good STEAMs activities, and cooperation of teachers is really very good there. What school is that? Šiauliai. Great. Šiauliai, Kristina Nesovienė, the coordinator of Millennium Schools leaderships activities from Šiauliai City Municipality. Good afternoon, everyone. I represent the team of projects from Šiauliai City Municipality, and I'm very happy to share the experience of Šiauliai City and the achievements. How to make young people to study. It's a rhetorical question, which is very important and very relevant. The story shared by Lucas. Lucas organized training for Šiauliai City pupils in Šiauliai, and during this training, Lucas carried out a reflection of the swimming pool, and he was asking in which swimming pool space you would like to be today, and you are. And the answer surprised him. In many cases, all pupils have a similar answer, that in many cases young people feel somewhere next to the events, but not internally, next to the swimming pool, but not diving into this whirlpool of the world where they need to be. Schools lack investment into non-formal activities for pupils. What we lack is also for strengthening the competences of teachers. And this is really is a case after 1 year of Millennium Schools projects. We had the opportunity to organize lots of quality activities, good really activities, and we noticed that the pupils and the teachers are really willing to take part. And this is really very important. And these activities motivate to learn and to study. And I think you in the audience want to ask about the formal education process, because fun things really disrupt the process and not are always conducive to learning, but they bring lots of emotions, colors, good mood. So I do believe that they are really necessary. Today, I would like to share 4 success stories that happened here in Šiauliai. Activities were organized by Šiauliai City schools, gymnasiums, pro-gymnasiums, and the first story is Ragainė, school and camp called Motivator in Molėtai district. The school pupils took part in activities that focused on working in the team, into the disclosing the hobbies, and they had tools to enable such hobbies. It's important that young people could fight with their fears, so they had the opportunity to talk about that and to acquire competences and skills. What is important is that before going on a camp, the pupils and the parents took part in the survey before school and after that, and the parents after school. So let me just share the data from surveys. The experience will help them to trust themselves, to express their opinion, to achieve goals, not to give up in the middle. Work in a team. Many mentioned that this is very important, and during the camp they had the opportunity to do that. Young people learn to respect, not to and let the other person speak. The parents noticed once the kids came back, they said that kids trust themselves, can touch upon the topics that they would never touch upon, became more self-confident, independent, trust their ideas, have a good motivation, and to learn. Once the survey results were assessed, we can draw the conclusion that kids had the opportunity to train their leadership skills, work in a team. They became the ones that trusted themselves, and this is really important to young people. Courage to work in a team, to express their ideas is important, and young people said that in this camp they knew that if something bad happens, they know they're not alone, and they will be helped. Another beautiful initiative implemented by Šiauliai City Šalkauskės Gymnasium, community project, My Hobby, Your Improvement. And it is beautiful in a way that the activities were focused on young people, and the entire school community took part in the project. Social partners, staff, and the aim was to give the tools to improve their hobbies. The pupils had the opportunity to look into the hobbies. Engineering, they were creating the model of future school. Then it was photography, and the third one was related to arts, and the fourth one by Lucas from rap session, the creativity activity that actually looked into different things, and there was a rap session which was really very interesting. Those who took part in the project, they were really happy about that. So it was very important to understand that this project helped them. And they said they became a group leader, and that was a person who didn't believe they could be a leader during this project. They understood they have this strength. Another shared that during rap session, they took a mic for the first time into his or her hands, and that was a challenge because they thought that they would never be able to take the mic and speak in front of the audience. The project helped to reveal your uniqueness And that is very important among young people, so they could discover themselves in informal and non-formal setting. Third story, organized by Šiauliai University Gymnasium. Here, what is important is what you heard at the very beginning, that the project of Millennium Schools is focused on networking. So one of the most important things is to achieve networking. So in the case of this camp, I'm very happy that one school organized them, but the camp took the teachers from all schools. And what is also important is that this summer camp for teachers was focused on strengthening STEAM competences, and during the camp, different contact, experience, integrated and active activities basically were used. Education activities were organized in a way to integrate general STEAM subjects. And it's very interesting when looking at the photos, the environments that were so different, and teachers took part in CO2 footprint, pond ecosystem survey, and many other activities. But what I want to say is that during that camp, we saw from the photos that they really had a great time, because these were not the teachers of one school. They could share the experience and also maybe make new contacts. The fourth story is the training of forum theater and the method of this theater applying in the education process. Forum theater is a mirror where we can see and change our reflection. When implementing this activity at schools, this is what we felt, that the staff, together with Šiauliai drama theater actor Monika Šaltytė, felt wonderful. This method helps to deal with the problems in the community. Members of staff had the opportunity to look into those problems. Maybe they are in classroom, maybe there are challenges in the community of the school. So they looked into the problems, and they also looked into who is the aggressor, distributed the roles, and looked into their creative also minds, and they had competences and knowledge that they will be able to apply in the area of education. What is important is that the training was not only for teachers. The community will find it easier to communicate, because forum theater training was organized for pupils as well. So the part when pupils were in teams was very beautiful. They could really look into relevant emotional, psychological problem and to solve it here and now by creative methods. And all these pieces were presented to the school community. And after that, the society had the opportunity to become actors, even for a short period of time. And let me go back to the question that I asked at the very beginning. How our young people would like to feel. I think people would like to dive in. They like taking part, but they need and they want to know the aim. the added value of what they are doing and also how they could apply the results. And if they get that, and funding and the Millennium Schools help us to ensure the quality of activities, and then the staff and school children come. So help our schools to grow. So please come to Šiauliai. Thank you very much. Anyone has a question from the audience? We have a few minutes. I just thought, when you said, how can we make them learn? Well, we all want them to learn, but maybe enabling them to learn, not making them to learn is better. Yes, this making, the focus on this making is a bit imposing, but the projects give us opportunities and investment to invest into the activities so they are of high quality. So we can have camps, activities, places that are different, not in Šiauliai, somewhere else. We can go somewhere. So we have lecturers that are an authority to get children. So this enabling children is happening, and theater was really interesting to teachers and pupils with lots of colors. And it was not only a play, and they dealt with emotional and also awareness raising, harassment, bullying problems. It is focused on bullying problem. It's a very beautiful initiative. I highly recommend it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for beautiful presentation and nice examples. When you heard this noise, it seemed that they are still maintaining the school. No. That was ventilation, which is really very smart and knows when to start working. So it's all good. We are safe and happy and in a very modern school. Well, let me now invite Kretinga city, Kretinga region, municipality head of education division, Asta Burbienė, to share her experience. Good afternoon, colleagues, friends. Well, bamboo is the fastest growing plant. It grows 1 meter in 24 hours. And the school life really reminds me of a bamboo, because we always are in a hurry. We lack time, and our everyday activities are just a part of that. And I think one of the biggest and most important tasks of a school is to make the process in such a way so every pupil experiences a success and make a progress. In order to solve this problem, we have to be full of new ideas, and the most active heads of Kretinga municipality decided to adapt lean method for education. Up till then, we realized that lean method is very well adapted to business. These 5 schools of ours, the 4 of them take part in the process, actually accepted the challenge. Moving forward is only possible when you have certain decisions in the society. If there are no decisions, if there are no agreements, if we are not looking towards one direction and we don't believe in what we are doing, whether they were ready for that, then the change is not going to happen. And only when you believe in yourself, you start being concerted together, the dynamics start. And there were schools that did not accept this challenge because they couldn't really agree in their societies, and that was natural. The schools that decided to go for adjusted lean method in education, what did they get? What did they achieve? First of all, they identified the problem and actually looked at the cause and effect ratio, because this is one of the most important things. And then we know the cause and effect, then we know how to solve the problems. And then we use the time rationally. Well, I could illustrate by Darbėnai Gymnasium. Last autumn, the gymnasium submitted a pilot math progress exam to the gymnasium pupils. 63% of the pupils failed this exam. Then, second-year gymnasium students said there are two major problems. One problem, or one reason, is the lack of feedback and weak skills of math online, solving tasks of math online. The teacher said that higher level math tasks were solved very poorly and the achievements were low. And then they looked into how to solve the problem. Additional consultation for math was decided in the school to solve higher level math tasks and exercises, and at least twice a week pupils go to do maths in the computer room, in the IT room. In spring, when the achievements were tested, they pass 100% this exam, and 1/3 of them acquire a higher level. The result is quite obvious, right? And if the problem-solving way is not done on time, then the result wouldn't have been possible. Additional tasks were dropped. The process was focused on solving the problem. Thus, solution is found here and now. The progress of pupils is continuously recorded. The changes are discussed during the meetings once a week in methodological groups, and the meetings are up to 10 minutes. The administration meets in 3 parts. Each part is no longer than 15 minutes. Headmaster, the acting headmasters or mentors. Then the second part is the headmaster, deputy headmasters, and special education specialists, and also the director and the administration. During that time, the gaps are identified, and also consultations are initiated in order to eliminate these gaps. Feedback is also envisaged, and it is all time-framed. On the same day, on the same hour, the things are planned per schedule, so everybody knows where they stand here and now. without leaving anything to the future. So problems are solved here and now. When there is a need, Kaizen ideas are implemented, and it's also time framed, not more than 1 hour. The support to pupil is impactful, it's clear. We haven't conducted more exhaustive surveys. There is still very little time. Later on, we would be able maybe to embark on better analysis, but it is working and it's a fact of life. I have to say that consultations, if there are certain gaps in learning, are also from other subjects, not only from math and Lithuanian. When analyzing the results of the national achievements per semester, per year, we try to help every pupil. So we're trying to build trust and motivation for every pupil, as every child is seen, the result of every child is seen, and the same principle is applied to other Millennium Schools program indicators. For example, integrated non-traditional classes, they are even in education plans, but they have to be very consistent, not fragmented. So, Deputy Director to Education says that this process has to be continuous, and the ones that are not used to really be part of the process, analyze the situation. Well, the monitoring of indicators is happening on the online board, and the indicator also is attached together with the fact what happened and what didn't happen, for example. So here we are dealing with one of the major issues. So we understand that all process has to be systemic and focused to the goal. What is most important is a pupil and how to help this pupil. And I think one of the reasons why we fail sometimes in helping is that not knowing what they want. In like Maslow's pyramid, you need to get to know a pupil, to find out the things they need, what they want, and the teacher has to know what the pupil needs. Once they know that, the results will be different. Then we'll be able to establish the gaps in learning, to fill in those gaps. And then the support could be efficient. And monitoring is also very, very important, because that determines successful learning. Lean model helps our schools to think about a different management level. When everybody is a fully fledged partner, there is cooperation and the relationship, working relationship. And if we were to come back to the bamboo, why this bamboo is so successful in growing? Well, before starting to grow, it spreads in soil and also has the roots. And then when they are when it is ready, it shoots upwards. So we do hope that Lean will gain a momentum and will help with the help of networking, not only for 5 regional schools, but all education establishments, because we believe in purpose of this tool. And if you are ready, I think it's worthwhile to do that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please come forward. When you say if you are ready, it's worth doing. How do you feel? How can you measure whether you are ready? I think we can all feel that, because when we're making change, whether we agree to the change, whether it's needed, it's necessary, and will be acceptable to us. And if we push it away and there is no understanding, then it will never happen. And if, of course, we had some situation when something you planned before is failing, and then you think why it's failing. The idea was great, but maybe there were some shortcomings, because we really can't tell you how things are going to happen, because the process shapes things, and these are the processes that make it interesting. And these processes are necessary because they give a push in the reality and make life more interesting, and you can find lots of interesting things. And the idea of Millennium Schools was to include into the plan the things that we had never done, things that were new, and to measure, to look whether it's good or not. But good things always can be implemented. You said it very well, that it's necessary to get to know a pupil. And then I thought, well, that some teachers would say that pupils are always in the center and we are all tired, that we need to look into their needs, but we are ourselves, we have a huge workload, and this generation, it requires a lot, and they're self-centered. I also hear this voice. How would you push this voice away? If I went to a doctor, for example, and they would say, you would come with lots of diseases, and then you also need some treatment, what do you want? But no, if we are teachers, then we have to accept the challenges, to understand the situation and go forward, and to look for solutions from those dark corners, and to help the kids. And the kids are unique, all different. Therefore, this getting to know is one of the most important things, aiming for advancement. Thank you very much. Thank you. We will hear a few success stories, but it's going to be after the break, and we will manage to have a coffee. Let us come back 5 to 5. So some 10 to 5, please start entering the room. So have a good break. Welcome back after the break. I am welcoming all those in Pilaitė Gymnasium and all those who are following us online on YouTube. And we will have the second part, 3 success stories and 1 inspiring presentation and 1 just summary. And then we will have an informal setting. I do hope that you had such a conversation during this break. Has anyone met a new good contact, met somebody nice, interesting? I see one hand, so really great. Thank you, great. Networking is at its best. So we finished the first part on time. I'm really very grateful to you. It's not always the case, so up to now, all speakers were the highest level. Now let me give the floor to Kėdainiai Šviesioji Gymnasium Millennium Schools Leadership Coordinator Henrikas Vaicekauskas. Good afternoon. I will start from my personal story. Let me stand here. And I have a text, so I know what I'm talking. During a lesson, I remember I asked my pupil, why have you missed classes for 1 month? Her answer was like a rhetorical question. There was a reproach. There was also some pain and some anger. She said the following: do you know our stories? And I reacted in an intuitive way. I said, no, I don't know, but I do feel them. And then there was a pause. I did realize she might start crying, but after the class, we continued the discussion, and she said that she was in Kaunas Clinical Hospital for a month because she used to drink only Red Bull, not because she wanted to get thin, but because she didn't have a person or people who cared about her, that feeling of loneliness. And back then, for the first time, I felt how important it is that each pupil at school had a person who cares about him or her. And it's not a case only for children, but also headmasters and teachers. Sometimes I ask headmasters of schools and leaders of country, do you have a person somewhere externally or internally? Not always. Let us ask our leaders, and would they be able to say that they have a person or the head of the institution who care about me, who know what help I need, because mostly there are demands. You have to do this, this and that. And this is like a chain. If leaders have such people, if teachers have such people, and if pupils have them at school. Back in 2023, our municipality got involved into the implementation of Millennium Schools program, and when we were drafting the progress plan, one member of the group said that actually I have this feeling that the school cares, that somebody cares about the school. And this feeling came about when we started planning together, talking about indicators, things that are common to municipalities, how to improve progress of pupils, how to reduce the gap. So we're trying to summarize and make common what used not to be common. And we did that together, learning from one another, and we're thinking about the communication and culture. And we felt as if it is a feature of a quality-driven education. So via Millennium Schools program, the feeling became stronger that it's not only my school I care, but I care about all other schools. It is a joint thing. There was also a feeling that a school is something that the state cares of. How can it be expressed? Labs, sensorial facilities, teaching aids, sports gyms. I was surprised when the headmaster of Rita's gymnasium said that a teacher in the new sports gym said, for the first time, I don't need to ask kids to do the warm-up. And that is not a joke. Our kids need contemporary measures, means, infrastructure. And Millennium Schools program ensures that when we talk to the leaders, they all say that new tools, equipment improve motivation. Digital tools involve more pupils to actively participate. They want to work in groups. Senamiestis Pro Gymnasium teacher said, Eduten playground program is great. We like it very much. And the competences of teachers improve. Šviesioji Gymnasium teachers say that visual thinking during literature classes help to argument, think about the strategy, initiate thinking, and helps pupils to involve. They become motivated to experiment, to research, and this is how motivation really increases to create something unique. For the first time, a new sports stadium. So the motivation to learn, and another aspect could be added here. The word that I heard in welcome speeches, the joy to learn. Let us remember Rita Person, who said learning and teaching should give us joy. Something we're doing now in our municipalities and schools have to give us joy. And the organizers, when they invited us, they said, let's celebrate what we created and what we're still creating. Adžalynas gymnasium teacher said that the pupils were very happy about the biology experiment, and they were asking one another, maybe we'll do something similar next time. But there are different things. I also heard disappointment that this is only for the chosen schools. Millennium Schools plan is implemented by 4 schools: Kėdainiai, Rytas, Adžalynas, and Šviesioji. Is it only for the chosen schools? Yes, these are the chosen schools. Why am I saying that? Because in Hebrew, the chosen is somebody who does more. And I also respect headmasters of schools who focus a lot on procurement, on conversations with teachers. And this is doing more when you care about the others. And this is not a status and not a privilege. Doing more by networking is involving other schools. And we also talked about that, the schools of other pupils of other schools, the labs are used and will be used by pupils of other regional schools. So this is actually doing more. Also heard other statements. How could a stadium improve the achievements in maths? We have a lab and we don't have the tools. Everything is late. The procurement, yes, it's late. Public procurement is always late. But I think the other way. This is the reality. But let us think that sometimes the procurement signals to us that you should stop and think. You will have time to rethink your activities and maybe do something better. From management, we know very simple thing that one of the main obstacles to progress is time. If you hurry, then there will be no good result. And the leaders have to feel when you need to stop and think a little bit. Okay, maybe only those 5 or 7% who are always complain about everything say these negative things. Maybe they're tired. In our municipality, we try to communicate, so there are fewer disappointed. And I will quote Šviesioji gymnasium headmasters who say that modern tools and competences help teachers to become safer. And a teacher trying to learn how to work with engraving laser said, it's really interesting. Another teacher said, new information helped me to become more sure. And via Millennium Schools, you think not only about equipment, but also about care. You care about how well teachers and pupils and leaders feel. We have a small team that consists of Millennium Schools coordinators, municipality coordinator, and we talk and we meet on a regular basis. And we had a contact meeting this week as well, where we discussed how could we organize networking better, because we had different questions and we found quite interesting decisions. We also have a major team from 4 schools, and we have 25 people via closed Facebook group. We share information, news, and also the information what the small team was deliberating on. We have a public also profile, Kėdainiai Millennium Schools, and we also give information about the things in the plan. We also have a newsletter, and in Kėdainiai Millennium Schools do that. What else makes us motivated? We're learning. The school headmaster after the seminar said, because after the seminar I was thinking a lot and I had another idea and I changed things, because you see that the behavior is changing. And this is the beginning of the change. Another manager said, I felt the joy of learning. And it's the same goes for school kids. A teacher also said that in my school I will talk to colleagues and we'll have an integrated class with STEM elements. She will do something concretely. Šviesioji gymnasium teacher, to the question how interdisciplinary integration was most useful, she said ideas for new classes, and she expressed her creativity. Well, to summarize, I would like to say 2 things. Millennium Schools programs is not about training, infrastructure, tools. With their help, school communities can better take care of every pupil, and this is a possibility, not to equip somebody, but to take care of everybody, because this is what our kids need and want. A 12-year-old Kasparas Jasas, there was an interview with him a few years ago. This is his painting. Kasparas says that every child should have the possibility to develop its real potential, and this is one of the areas of Millennium Schools. The implementation of Millennium Schools program is the answer to the question whether you know our stories. Good competences and good feeling is that it helps to answer this question. I know, I feel, and I want to help. This is why this program should be continuous. This is what our teachers and headmasters say. End-to-end creative task to you and homework. Think of your own words and wishes to your Millennium Schools program. Come back and tell to your school community. Thank you. Homework is not so easy because it's quite difficult to think of. Thank you very much. The only question is, how could the stadium improve the achievements in maths? Here we have the Ritas Progymnasium headmaster. Svetlana, what do you think? So, social, cultural skills. If a child feels better, everybody would feel better. I think you would agree with that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. One of the 14 municipalities that expanded networking beyond municipality borders and have a joint networking with Birštonas. Which city is that? Prienų region. Prienai Renova Secondary School Deputy Headmaster Kristina Nastulevičienė. Of course, she is coming here. Good afternoon, good evening for the most patient ones. Nobel Prize winner Maria Curie said that teamwork is like a firework. And the success is determined by every person. But for this firework to be successful and impressive, there is a precondition. What is a success to us? To understand, to feel success, or similarly see final vision. And today I would like to speak about what is important to each and every one of us is how to create new and improve current conditions while implementing inclusive education idea. And I would like to provide a few examples from Prienai municipality, how we as a team change value proposition, look for decisions in trying to achieve the measures in the program. In Prienai, we have 10 secondary education schools, 311 pupils, and every 8th has a special learning requirements or needs. And we look for methods, decisions, because not a single school did the selection, and we admit children with regard to what the parents want. So what are these 4 beacons that support our teamwork? Well, the first one is teacher qualifications and competences. Indeed, here the education support service is very important. Apart from all of these functions, I would like to say a few words about informal communication. Every time once there is a problem, we can we can ask for help, and the problems are solved much easier. But education support service or center cannot really satisfy all the needs, because that's why we need the support. Prienai has quite a good support in Erasmus activities, and we have accreditation, and majority of topics is about work with pupils who have special needs. And one of the examples from Millennium Schools is this education afternoon. We were really scared. It was really hard. Well, Henrikas and talked about public procurement, registration, and so on and so forth. And we realized that we cannot do anything on our own. And municipality provided us immense help with facilities, and there were medals, everything. We were very lucky. So we had this support, and we realized that somebody cares about us. Why did I put this next to the competences of teachers? Well, the afternoon was in a form of stops, and there were 10 stops. Without teachers, without those who help us, would have never happened, because some kids had serious disorders, neurotypical kids, and we had to think how to create conditions for everyone. Our school team was in those stops, pupils and teachers and sports center trainers, all those who helped the pupils to do the tasks. And at the end, we got the medals and some tasty treat. So that was a good prize. Our second beacon is support provision. In the plan of Millennium Schools, we have a very ambitious goal to provide support to all pupils who need it. And only by trying to improve this number, we have to work as a team, because on our own we cannot do anything. So education support service and helped us a lot. Also the schools, headmasters of schools go to municipalities and ask, and they're heard, and they receive members of staff, additional vacancies. And one of the areas where support specialists worked a lot was second afternoon. I help to help others and myself. Here you see the brochures, and pupils would do the bouquets. But support specialists during the entire event were there and supported, coordinated the activities. So don't do for him, but ask for help. Help him to help. And there were quite a lot of volunteers. They made a cake, and we could also talk about that at a cup of tea. Our third beacon is our values. You all would agree, I think, that this is a very interesting area, and you cannot change them very quickly. In the team, we actually agreed what is inclusive education to us, what we want to change, and we are changing things when we have a joint opinion, that only by being together we can create a school where everybody is happy, and we work in different forms, and we try to convince at least one person that only tolerance and empathy and compassion helps us to move forward. We have a long-term goal that helps us to nurture our values. When I was preparing for presentation, they said that this afternoon is really good as an example. Here we took 10 regional teams. We also involved 10 institutions from Prienai, the healthcare center, sports center, library, and we were all together. Representatives from different areas who could contribute, who could help to do the tasks. And as I say, the municipality also helped us. We also had a bungee jump, and we thought that some people worked with our children for half a day, and we thought we need to thank them. We called the education center, and they gave us the prizes. We received tokens of appreciation from them, and we helped the teams. Because some people say we don't get anything because you don't ask. We also did a wave from pieces of fabric, and each had to put their own piece of fabric, and our ultimate goal was the presents with pizzas and books. So we thought pizza is the best. Also, the fourth beacon is resources. Well, the schools without the support of other partners wouldn't do anything. Today, I would like to talk about multi-sensorial rooms. I hear some disappointment. If we want and we know what we want, it's not only the walls. This is not only the walls. In the progress plan, 3 out of 4 schools have planned multisensorial facilities or rooms, and we need to help them because we have a special education department, we have a therapist, kinesiotherapist, and we ask them to come to schools. We will tell you, we will advise you what to do, and then tell us who is going to work there. Colleagues, I think that the assistants cannot do themselves the work on their own. If we know what we need and what it's for, and we have a specialist, then yes, we can invest the money in a different way if we don't know what we want. Here you can see the tools and empty walls. And here a piece of advice. When you write the terms of reference, think about everything, because we had the tools and we didn't have the floor cover. Here you see the space is divided into 2. Homework club and multisensorial room. So I think the division was not really perfect. Then we called the education department. We need a partition. We really need it. Okay, they said, if you need it, please, you have it. And they helped us. I still have 3 minutes, but I want to say one important thing. It's not enough to ask for help and to have the equipment. Our plan from the 1st of October, long-term inclusive education program is starting. We invite all the schools of our region, and we also took pictures of those multisensorial rooms, and we sent a picture. We want to show what to do. We need to assess the needs, and now we are looking forward for feedback from a trainer, a tutor, and the schools also have received the message that we will need to listen to feedback. Well, I would like to tell the second stage of the program to pass on this beacon of light. Let's look for those who think similarly, and maybe others will be inspired. Don't be afraid to be sometimes intrusive, and your dreams might come true. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Some intrusive question, maybe? Just to focus. You said really well. Don't be afraid to be intrusive. Sometimes to push a little bit for more. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Priyanai. And now let us move on not too far away to Druskininkai. Druskininkai Municipality, Millennium Schools Program Coordinator Diana Grušauskaitė from Druskininkai. Let's give her a round of applause. Today I will speak about challenges that our municipality had to face when implementing STEAM content in our schools. Let me start from one thing, from a question to you. What would you do if you found a pink napkin on your table? Most probably you would put it where it belonged. Maybe you would think who and why left it here. What do you think, what would pupil do if they found such a napkin on their tables? You wouldn't think about the things they would do. Maybe they would crease it and make it into a ball, start playing with it. Maybe they would make a hat out of it. Maybe they would try to keep it in the air as long as possible. Maybe they would make an origami plane. Maybe they would clean a table with it. And quite a few of them would make a sign or put a name on it. It's mine. Because children are very creative. They are also very curious, trying to look for things, enthusiastic, active, and really very, what do you think, motivated. This is how we find them at school, but when time goes on, this motivation disappears somewhat, and quite often we hear this question: why would I need this in life? What is it for? And this happens because this pink napkins are replaced by exercise books, theories, formulas that often are too far away from a real life. And this could be solved by STEAM, because STEAM is about real life problems, about applying the formulas and theories into a real life. And by applying all interdisciplinary knowledge and doing that creatively, this is about what STEAM is about. For example, when thinking about and learning about light and shadows, they could learn where to park a car on a hot day. When learning about sounds, what absorbs, reflects the sound well, pupils could look for ideas how to help a friend who really suffers from noise. This is inclusive education. So if STEAM education method involves children, motivates them, brings the process of education closer to reality, and then the question, why do I need this, becomes obsolete. Why it is so difficult to find it in everyday lessons. I'm not talking about curriculum activities, I'm talking about every class, every day. Why not every teachers are in a hurry to apply it? The answer to this question is maybe where we try to look at it together with Druskininkai team, because our main objective is STEAM projects as a part of curricula. So into everyday classes, we would like to bring as much STEAM as possible, so kids see the meaning. And when we tried to analyze why everything is so slow, we looked at three main obstacles. The first obstacle is a different background of teachers, different experience. The second one is that teachers are not sure whether and how to apply STEAM in all subjects. And the third one is that there is a lack of methodology. And we were trying to, at first, think what is bad with that, but tried to look for solutions in order to overcome these hurdles. And let me share them. First of all, what we did is we looked at STEAM concept, what STEAM means to us. When teachers looked at Millennium Schools program definition, teachers thought differently. Some thought maybe arts could be combined with biology, others maybe it is an experiment, others thought this is a result of technologies, I did something and this is STEAM. So what I did, we looked into charts with photos, with description of activities that were close to STEAM, and we played a game. STEAM or not STEAM? And what made us happy most is that teachers, while putting those cards, STEAM or not STEAM, tried to propose how to make those activities into STEAM activities. For example, a robot and a nice piece of art, if it could, for example, walk or make a tea, this would be STEAM. So what was nice is that teachers started talking about that. They started seeing that, and they found it easier to understand what STEAM is about and what is not STEAM. And as a consequence, we see a chart whether this activity is STEAM or not STEAM. and where the ticks could be put, how to make this lesson or activity into a STEAM activity. So the STEAM does not become only a game, but also a part of a process. The second problem is that teachers were not sure in other disciplines, especially in technologies and engineering. This was dealt by training courses and STEAM workshops. As teachers said, after 2 days of training in Klaipėda and Kaunas, it's better to try it out once and experience rather than hear for 100 times. So what was nice is that during reflections, the training teacher said, I will try it out. Let's do it together. The teachers looked for ideas and implemented that during classes. And I would like to go to show later that STEAM camp. That was really great, what colleague Christina said. I think teachers would like to experience that a lot, and that is much better than hundreds of classes about STEAM. We're also thinking about a study visit to Marijampolė, as our laboratories really very much respond to those labs, engineering, sciences, and so on and so forth. And the third, most acute problem is methodological material, or rather the lack of it. We don't have STEAM lesson plans, we have ideas on the internet, we need to think whether they are STEAM or non-STEAM. So to make them, to bring them really STEAM content, we started from primary school, because you have one teacher usually there, and we looked into updated content, what topics could be STEAMed to make children really feel it. And we chose a few topics. 2 or 3 teachers were delegated with a topic close to their heart, and to think what project they could really propose to us. And this is how methodological material was discovered. So you see electricity grid in third year, how they could apply that all methodological material comes with a list of material and what these kids can learn, and the lesson plan is quite detailed here, because one lesson does not end just with this lesson, it continues. And then children help the teacher to go through design phase, what products they got, and assessed themselves. And then the teachers could look what they can change, where the ambitions were too big. And I chose this project not by chance. There are also pupils lists where they could write a reflection, write and describe every step they take. The project was a Christmas one, in trying to solve a problem, how to light the Christmas tree if there is no electricity. the teacher, since it was summer, decided to do it a different way. What to do if kids find it difficult to fall asleep at night, to make this night lamp a toy. And kids would write what they needed. They tried to describe where the electricity bulb could be integrated, and they applied their knowledge what type of thread they need to apply in order to make electricity grid. And the grid should be closed in order for it to make light. And this is not the only thing you can do. I also made beacons that would turn. They could be pre-programmed, so they could turn at a certain speed. We also can have different things. And just to end, I would like to say one thing, that all these 3 obstacles could be overcome if we agree what is STEAM to us, by strengthening the competences of teachers. And the best is to do that, not to hear, and to create together. All the plans that we generated, drafted, can be tried out in Druskininkai Education Center website, STEAM page, which is a part of this project. You see 1st to 4th grades, we'll have more. Please try them out and leave some feedback to us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your work, for your enthusiasm, for this really great motivation to do it. It's easier than to believe that everything it happens easier. Thank you very much for your stories, for your speeches, for managing the time, and for being sincere. Before going to the end, now we'll have a very interesting part. And now we will hear how to achieve the goals and how to row upstream. And now I would like to give the floor to the Olympic champion, Victoria Senkutė, who is a rower. Good evening, great guests, great event. I listened to a few presentations. I'm really honored to be here and to share my story. Maybe you've seen some of the pictures or mottos, and it would seem what a life I'm living, huge smile, but it's great to be me, but in order to achieve this, I had to survive quite a lot of rowing upstream, and this is what I'm going to tell you about. I was born 28 years ago in Trakai, in a family of a construction manager and shop assistant. We lived in a small apartment. We had to bring wood to make fire, to bring water from the lake, and we didn't have a lot of money, but we were happy to have a roof above our head. A few years after my parents got divorced, I lived with my mom. I was really a teenager and it was a headache to her. And I got one proposal that changed my life. One day I was asked to come to the rowing competition and to get 20 liters for that, just to keep the boats. And I really was a teenager that had where to spend the money. I can't change the slides for some reason. So I agreed. There is some confusion with the slides. When I went to my first rowing competition, the storyline here is a bit different in the slides, but I went to my first rowing training session, and I want to find one slide that I can't find now. I wanted to see a girl who looked so beautiful, sporty, and I thought, this is where I have to go just to lose weight and become beautiful. So the next day I called my first coach, Daiva, and I went there to my first training session. Even though the first aim was to lose weight, but when I felt boats and the harmony of water, I couldn't resist, and I said, I will be the best. And this is how I remained in this sport. After my first training session, I had my first fit of epilepsy. Since these fits were at night, I did not really thought it's a big deal. My mom thought it's a big deal, but I wanted to go in for sports. I wanted to go to the rowing training sessions. I went to the doctor, and I had the medication that I will be taking for the rest of my life. And with the blessing of doctors, there was a decision made that I can continue on my rowing. My challenges didn't end there, because when I started training, my body seemed not to be fit for rowing. No coach said I could be a professional. I'm 1.70 m. I was too low. I don't have long hands, long legs. And here, look at my colleagues, they are all higher than me. But you don't always have to fit into the standard to reach something. So I tried to look for inspiration. I didn't need to look for a long time, and that was the same girl that I saw during the competition on my first day of my training. Danuta Karalienė, who is one of the best in the world. Her competitors were higher than her. I took this Donata's picture, and every day when I came back from school, I thought, if Donata can, I can also do that. Thanks to rowing, I went to the USA to study. I was short. Many universities wouldn't invite me because my main thing was rowing. When I was rowing in the States, I did not progress a lot, so when I came back to Lithuania, it was difficult to come back. In spring 2021, the federation decided to discontinue funding for me. When the system begins not to trust you, I started not trusting myself. The Olympic winner, Simonas Maldonis, who is my boyfriend, started believing in me. He said I could give myself time, and we only lived from his salary. We shared our home, and he helped me a lot to survive all this difficulty. Since my funding was discontinued, I had a lot of energy, and I thought I had to do something. And then I asked into bicycle sports. The federation let me try different competitions because I took part in the competition before, and I thought maybe here I can somehow implement myself and go to the Paris Olympics. But then I realized that cycling is not for me, and in 3 years I cannot really overcome this fear, and these doors were closed, and I couldn't really Torture Simonas, and I thought I'll find a job. When I started looking for a job, I thought that my CV is empty. I have no experience whatsoever, that I dedicated my life for rowing, and I only have a rowing diploma and university diploma and no experience. But I was very determined. I would send my CV, and one company said, yes, the then leader Dovile believed in me. She invited me, and I'm really grateful to her, because sometimes you need one person, and I worked there until February of this year. And in first holidays, we went to Paris, and we were walking the street, and I saw these Olympic rings in Paris. When I saw them, I felt that I have to go back to Paris as a rower, as a sportsman. I went back to my coach Karolis, who was working free of charge. I had nothing, only him. He made a plan for me. He supported psychologically. I started training in winter. The winter mornings were cold and dark, but this hope that I can do things, I can come back to the team, supported me and made those mornings shinier. When I came back to the team with Carlos, I thought, yes, I came to my team with a colleague. Everything was nice. We were selected to European Championship. A day after that, I got a finger injury, and I was taken out of the team, and I was rowing as a single. This trauma determined me that, I'm a rower. It was destiny, and I'm rowing on my own now. It taught me a lot. From that trauma, I started all trauma seeing in a different way. I was trying to look for a positive thing during trauma. I cannot row, I can cycle, I can go to the gym, I can run. So I started thinking in a way that body gives us what we need, not what we want. And I started thinking, I need to take a rest from rowing. My body wants to strengthen somewhere else, get stronger. And this is how I treated all my traumas from then on. And I became tougher. Here, I wanted to tell you how to overcome fears, how to fight fears. And this is the picture from the start line. I was really afraid of a bad result, of failing, of what others will think. But then, when you have a few seconds to the start, I remind myself, you did it 4,000 times, you rehearsed it 4,000 times, and then fear is away somewhere, and trust in yourself is stronger. So I learned how to live with fear, not how to fight them. In rowing, like in any other profession, on high level, details are important. My sports psychologist told me to try out visualization. Here I'm in my kitchen when I was trying on Olympic wear. In this video, I just cried 5 minutes because physically and psychologically I was down, and I thought, how can I go to Olympic Games and start? Because I felt really tired. But I tried to show my body that everything is going to be all right, that we will have this nice moment. So I tried to convince my body. And here you see this visualization, the moment that it happened. Here the smile is wider, no tears. But I was really, really happy. And when I was there on the podium, I felt that I lived through this moment, and on this highest level, these details determine everything. So I want to tell you that We all create our own story. We see stereotypes, difficulties, and fears. So bring you our joy, good energy wherever we go, and life will pay us back. Thank you. A few minutes, please stay with us. Well, you, Victoria, were smiling all the way through. They were so happy. And it's not that I haven't read the story, but I wanted to cry when I was listening to you, and I see these people also began crying. So maybe my question would be as follows. For example, when you were in the States and everybody said, no, you are too short, at the moments when it was difficult, you managed somehow. And I thought, you mentioned that your parents are divorced. You had to have some loving person, some mother, for example. There should have been some source of strength. Well, all the time I had this determination. And of course, in every stage of my life, there would be one person that would direct me. In my childhood, it was mother, then my boyfriend, coach that worked with me free of charge. So through life, we meet people there and now, and that help us. And I try to be positive and towards others and myself. Explain to me, when you break your finger, why you can row on your own and you can't row when you are two on the boat? I don't understand. Well, since you can row on your own, because you can row on your own pace. So I can do something and not to obstruct the others, not to be a challenge to others. Okay, I understand. And what is your dream right now? I don't know. I live my dream life. I have a loving boyfriend, family, friends. I can be here, share my story. And like previously, I'm happy and I will do whatever makes me happy. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I wanted to let you go. Maybe somebody in the room wanted to say something, but you are gone. Maybe you are going to other Olympic tasks. So let us give a round of applause to this lady. Thank you. European Social Fund Director Lina Nevinskienė will give us the final word, the final speech. Please meet her. Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me thank the speakers for their interesting, inspiring presentations. I'm really very happy to see so many participants. Your active involvement shows that Millennium Schools program mission is relevant to each and every one of us. And when seeing all Lithuanian municipalities, it's obvious that we are going towards the right direction, and we understand that by creating proper conditions to all Lithuanian children to have equal opportunities to get quality education, despite their social status, despite their place of residence, we create stronger and more unified society. And united by this goal, lots of fund experts work in this program managers, but also quite a lot of municipal and school staff work in implementing this program. 250 activity coordinators work in inclusive leadership, STEAM, cultural education. When we see synergy among lots of investment into Lithuanian education and also the overall involvement of institutions, we can see the changes in education via very specific examples that we saw today. Let me thank each and every one of you for the possibility to take you in implementing progress plans, dealing with challenges, and being happy by small wins, small successes. Thank you very much to all for great and cooperation that makes us grow. Thank you very much, and good networking event. Thank you, and this remaining hour will be for communication, to celebrate with live music, a glass of non-alcoholic drink. Anything I forgot? No, I think that's it. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being enthusiastic and for doing a lot. Thank you for all your work. Have a good evening and see you later. Thank you.